trying to use my phone, but then I realized I needed, to be texting and stuff. So I'm not using my headset. So I hope that it's clear. It's okay? Okay, good. Great. It's so nice to see everyone. So we're going to start in a little bit. We're going to give a little extra time, about 5 minutes. If you can hang tight until then. On or off, I'm sure everybody does like to see it, but just depends on your connection. My name is Ivy Cook. I represent the Soka Gakkai International. I'm also the vice chair working with Huri at the NGO Committee on the Status of Women in New York. And I don't know about the weather for you. It's a little gray here, but very sunny here on the screen seeing you. So we originally had planned, sorry for the sirens, but 3 days of conversation circles during the NGO forum of the CSW 64. It was a new attempt for us, and we were so excited because it was going to give a chance for everyone to connect together in one big space. And we promise we will try to do it again in a future date. But today we were trying to, actually in the last week or so, 2 weeks ago, World Pulse, which was one of the sessions that we had a workshop that they did. They did hold it virtually, and now we're going to hold today's transformation on interconnectedness. So I wanted to give a very brief intro on Malika Dutt. And she has been in the women's movement. She's been an activist for over 30 years herself. She was in Nairobi, she was in Beijing. She's written about it. She has tons of articles and tons of credentials. I was fascinated just looking at her website. You can check it out at Malika Dutt. And she started out as a lawyer. She founded a global human rights organization called Breakthrough. That's just the tip of the iceberg. She has so many other things that you can check out. I want to just say a little bit from her website. It says Malika is a leading innovator in storytelling and culture change and has produced multimedia experiences that have reached millions of people to shift hearts and minds. She brings together the power of ancient wisdom and spiritual practices with contemporary technologies and tools for creative connection and transformation. She combines her creative advocacy for a thriving world with a coaching, speaking, and strategy practice that connects planet, people, and purpose. And we thought, what better way together at this particular time in history of humanity, this unprecedented time, to have this session together with you. And so I'm going to turn it over to Malika right away. So I'm going to mute myself, and it's Malika's turn now. Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. Just to check, can you all hear me? Great. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are right now. I am so excited to see all of you. Before we get started, I just want to do a few Zoom tips. If you haven't already discovered the little chat icon at the bottom of your screen, please go down to the bottom of your screen and click on it so that it will show up on your right-hand side. We'll be using that chat a lot to interact with one another because there's already 130 people on the Zoom call, so it's going to be quite difficult for us to actually get into a conversation. So the chat is going to be an important place for us to be able to communicate with one another. If you are finding that your connection is getting a little wonky because, you know, where so many of us are internet, you can switch from your video to just your plain screen and just listen on audio. You also, up on the right-hand corner, have a little button that says speaker view. So you can either decide to pin my video so that I'm the main face on your screen while I'm speaking, or you can keep it on the gallery view, which will allow you to see lots of spaces on the screen. Towards the middle of your screen, on your left and your right, you will see little arrows. Right now it says 1 of 7, and that will allow you to go back and forth across screens to get a sense of who all has joined the call. So please use that to just get a sense of the incredible siblinghood that we are around the world. That's pretty much it. In terms of other logistics, we are going to be recording this call and we will make it available to everybody that signed up, as well as, of course, everybody who is on this call. And I think that's about all the technical stuff that I want to share with you. Before I launch into my own introduction, I'd love for you to do exactly what you're doing in the chat box right now. Chime in and tell us where you're logging in from. And if there's one word of greeting or how you're feeling that you want to share with us. We have folks here from China, from Belgium, from Egypt, from the Maldives, from New York City, from Nigeria, Dublin, Vienna, Delhi, Sweden, South Miami, and that's just a quick glimpse as I'm trying to keep up with all of the places: Germany, Belarus, Ottawa, wow, the UK. I'm naming the countries that are coming in just to remind us all that this global feminist movement is truly a global movement, and that we are in unprecedented times of potential leadership to really shape and create the world in the dreams and desires that we have had for so many, many decades. Just a little bit about myself and why I am so deeply committed to creating interconnected leadership. I've been a part of the women's movement and human rights space for the last 35 years. A large part of my work was in the area of violence against women. And about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I was completely burnt out. I was so exhausted. I couldn't find the energy to do anything. And I was in this peculiar place where the organization that I had founded and was running, which is called Breakthrough, was in the public arena doing really well. We were being recognized for our work. We were being able to raise resources. We were winning all these awards. We had put violence against women along with the global women's movement onto the public policy agenda. We had created work around culture change. We were engaging men in challenging violence against women. So from all of the objective indicators of NGO, nonprofit success, one would have said that I was doing really well. I was a publicly known leader in the movement. But my internal self, my physical self, my emotional self was just unable to move. I had no energy to do anything. And I was experiencing all of the symptoms of burnout. And so I made a decision, which was not easy, but I made a decision to leave Breakthrough and go into a sabbatical. And I was fortunate enough to have saved and raised the resources in order to be able to do that, because for so many of us, going into sabbatical and taking time out is an almost impossible thing to do financially. So I was really, really privileged and lucky to have that space. And as I sank into the sabbatical, for the first couple of months, I couldn't move. I would sleep all through the night, and then I would sleep an additional 4 or 5 hours a day. And as I started to just rest, I realized that for so many of us working on social justice issues, we were constantly in fight mode. We were in a place of advocacy, of having to challenge the patriarchy, challenge the impact of colonialism and imperialism, challenge the way in which racism and class structures and capitalism was ravaging our world. And so we were just in this place of just constantly being in battle, in advocacy mode. And I also realized that in the process of doing that, we were also hurting one another a great deal. That within the movement, that we talked about creating a culture of care and well-being in the world, but that within the movement itself, we were unable to practice that. That in fact, forget about us having to deal with the violence of the patriarchy. Very often we were dealing with the violence that we were doing to each other. And that kind of mistrust and the kind of, I don't know, like this sense of, oh my God, if we can't take care of each other, how are we going to create a world that takes care of everybody? Was something that I was beginning to think about. And I don't mean to describe this in a way that sounds like people were being horrible to me. In my reflections, I also realized that I, in my own leadership, had acted in ways that were extremely patriarchal, extremely hierarchical, or that came from places of deep trauma that I had not healed, that I had not addressed within myself. So I was acting it out in my family, in my organization, and in this incredible movement that I loved so much. So in this time of pause and reflection and healing that I was able to do, I learned many, many different modalities of healing and becoming present. And I had no idea that this first ever workshop that I was going to share with my movement, with my people, with my community was going to take place at this moment in history, at this moment on the planet when we are in such deep rupture and in such deep opportunity. And so I want to just share that if you think about it, so many of the critiques that we have had of the structures that we have been trying to change led us to this moment. We are in this moment of global collapse precisely because of all of the things that we have critiqued over and over and over again in our movements. And so even as we look at the ravages that our societies and our countries are facing, particularly economically, I am wondering if we can think of this moment as a place for our leadership to really shine, for us to claim all that we have done and learned as part of this incredible feminist global presence, to turn this moment into the pivot, into the shift, into a proactive moment of building and creating an interconnected world. Today's session is going to focus on two offerings that come from my own work and my own understanding of how I can show up as a leader, perhaps a little bit differently than I was showing up before, and how this moment can create some of those opportunities for us to really bring feminism and everything that we have dreamt about front and center into how we are recreating the world. There are two practices, and those two practices are going to be self-awareness, and the second practice is going to be centering. I just lost my screen. Can you all still hear me? Yes? Okay. So I am back. It's a little strange sometimes to see things weird out on your computer when you are trying to do this. If you haven't already done so, before we actually close our eyes and go into the first practice of self-awareness, I just want you to take a moment and just toggle your 6 screens and just look at the names and the faces of everybody that is here. Just anchor yourself in this incredible movement that spans continents, multiple countries. This is our incredible movement that has men, women, and people of all genders, races, ethnicities, classes, countries around the world. It's pretty damn incredible. So I welcome with open arms. I embrace all of you with so much love and so much excitement. So let's step into practice number 1. And this is the practice of self-awareness, which really is, I think, one of the most critical tools of leadership. Our ability to be aware of ourselves and what is happening to us at any given moment makes all of the difference in terms of how we show up for ourselves, for our communities, for our organizations, and indeed, how we show up for the world at this moment. Today's practice is going to focus on the self-awareness that we need to show up for ourselves, because that is really the first building block of awareness. So I invite you to get into a comfortable position. Make sure that your feet are on the floor. Try to have your ankles uncrossed. If you have any kind of a sitting practice, you can just sit with your back straight. Otherwise, lean back against a chair. Let's see if your back can be straight, your head can be straight, and just allow yourself to settle in and close your eyes. So the first building block of self-awareness is breath. So I want you to bring your attention to your breath. Actually focus on your nose, your nostrils. Feel the air coming in and feel the air exhaling. And with each in-breath, notice that your body is alive. You are inhaling in oxygen that nourishes your bloodstream, makes your heart pump, and exhaling out carbon dioxide. This very simple practice of awareness, of just coming to your breath, is something that you can carry with you anywhere, everywhere. And now I want you to bring your attention to your body. And just begin a scan from your toes, up your ankles, your knees, your thighs, and just notice, is your muscle tight anywhere? Is your body tight anywhere? Are you feeling pain anywhere? Are you comfortable? One of the biggest consequences of patriarchy and the systems of domination that we have in this world is that we are separated from our bodies, or our bodies have become sites of battle. And so coming into relationship with our bodies, with our neck down especially, is one of the most radical acts that we can do. Our bodies hold pain and our bodies hold pleasure. And our bodies are infinitely wise beings. We walk in our bodies every single moment of every single day. And now bring your emotional field into your awareness. What are your emotions right now? How are you feeling? Is this exercise irritating you, making you calm, curious? Are you anxious? Is the world around you getting you down, making you excited, scared, creative? Just allow yourself to feel whatever it is that is happening in your body. Nothing to change, nothing to shift, just pure awareness. One of the most important blocks of leadership, interconnected leadership, is self-awareness. Because if you are able to know what is going on with you, then you can often move from a place of reacting to a place of responding, or to a place of being more proactive, of leading. And now just give yourself permission to be with your breath, your body, your emotions. Just embrace all of it. Embrace all of you. And now I want you to slowly open your eyes. And what we're going to do for a quick moment is pop you into breakout rooms. And what you're going to share with each other is what came up for you in that exercise. And you have 2 minutes each. The person that has shorter hair will speak first. When the person that is speaking and sharing what came up for them during that awareness exercise, I request that the other person just listen. My math is terrible. So Devin, we have 140 people on this call. And if you and I do not pop into a call, I think we can have 2 or 3 people in each group. So Devin, if you could begin the process of breaking us out into groups. If this is your first experience, you'll experience a moment of silence, and then there'll be a pop-up on your screen that asks you if you can join, if you want to join the breakout group. So please say yes, and then introduce yourselves to one another and just share what came up for you. When the time is over, you'll see a sign that says taking you back into the main discussion, and then it'll automatically bring you all back. Is everybody ready? Okay, great. Devin?
Hi, everyone. Beth Ann, I see there's 25 of us that perhaps did not get into a breakout room. I'm not sure what happened. Talk about technology.
Right. I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
All right, so we'll see if we can figure this out. It's only 6 minutes, and I really want to honor you all and see if anybody wants to share. Please let us know what came up for you. We can take turns.
I think that this is our breakout section, maybe with more than 2 people. So
Right.
I'm distracted by home life, by the dog, by my daughter, and just by life in general. But I definitely feel that we are going through a global change, and honoring our Mother Earth is a big part of it.
Thank you for that. Anyone else?
This is Lee. As I was going through it, I realized getting in touch with the anxiety that usually I deal with it by noting it and then pushing it away and going on. And that may not be the best way to do it with extended anxiety.
Yes, that's definitely the roller coaster ride that I've been into. Anyone else? Ooh, somebody felt anxious during exercise, yeah. I was anxious when we first started, and then the breathing helped me.
Hi,
Go ahead.
this is Kenna. I actually ended up in a breakout room by myself.
We all did. This is the large group that ended up in individual rooms for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Me too.
But you're all welcome.
I just did a little bit of writing before I said, oh, I'll go back to the main room.
Thanks for going along with this technology. We're all experimenting.
Yeah, I'm running a workshop on managing stress and anxiety, and also breaking people out into small rooms. And I just said, oh, something new to learn. But I noticed during the exercise how one of my parts is holding on.
I'm editing right now, like editing video, so thankfully I could work from home.
Good.
But yeah, which is nice.
That I need to do some work with my belly.
Yeah, excellent. I see Malika has joined us here too, but I know a few people want to contribute, so please go ahead.
Hi, hello, do you hear me?
Yes.
So I'm Marianne, and so I'm very happy to be able to speak with you now. And so here in north of Europe, we are all alone. We cannot see our family, nor we cannot work outside. So it's not easy. And I think it's very important to share what we can with you. And what Malika said is very important about self-awareness and Taoist leadership. So we have a big job to do now. And so I'm listening to you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, hello. I'm Vibeke Elizabeth from Denmark. And I'm very happy to be here. And I was very happy about the introduction and the meditation. And I'm the chair of the Grandmother Circle of the Earth, Denmark. And we have done a lot of online meditations. And yesterday it was the water day. And so at 12 o'clock, we all went to our own waters. I have a little creek in my garden. Somebody lives near some other water, or you just take a bowl with water and then pray for the water and for the healing and for the healing of Mother Earth.
Wow,
so
really
I think
nice.
It's very important that we share meetings like this all over the world and bring healing to the world and to each other and to ourselves. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I might have the shortest hair, so I guess I should maybe have started. I came here a bit late. I was so happy to see this invitation, and to me it was a bit of a new dimensions and new language and new words into the whole gender equality community, and I was so happy to see that, and that the planet is also included in the care that we want to do. Thank you.
We have, I think, 1 minute left. Anyone else?
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Bernadette. I'm in Dublin, and I was really excited to try that breakout room thing. I'd never been in one, and then I found myself alone, and that wasn't very nice. So I'm really glad to have managed to get into even a bigger group, which is even better. I guess, you know, at the moment, you know, with the whole virus, and I know I'm working from home now, and I'm not used to that, and there's some benefits, but then there's that connectedness thing, and in some ways I'm more connected to friends, to colleagues now than often sitting in the office and stuck in the computer. I suppose it raises.
But that would still be like a cool option to have like more like virtual webinars, like what CSW is currently doing.
Yeah,
even if it's like
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Really appreciate being part of this today.
Thank you. I see our group is growing, so breakout rooms must be finishing. Malika, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you, Huri, and thank you for jumping in and holding this amazing, amazing community while I was trying to figure out how to get back out of my breakout room in which I was alone as well. You know, note to self, I think for a lot of us is learn Zoom quickly. So I'm just going to, as we're waiting for everybody else to come back in, we're now at 70 participants. So maybe, I'm not quite sure how all of this is working, but I'm going to just take a moment to address fear. Yeah.
Malika, I'm so sorry to interrupt. It sounds like we have another 30 seconds before everyone else joins.
Ah, okay.
So I don't know if we should wait for everyone. Maybe one other person from here can share. I don't know. It's up to you.
No, sorry. That's great. Let's get one more share.
I'd like to share. I'm Julie from Boston. So I was really happy to chat with Nemoto Hiroko from Japan. And she told me that it's midnight in Japan and it's 10 something in Boston. But I did share my, the fact that I'm really anxious. Sorry about that. So I shared the fact that I'm a little bit anxious with everything that's happening. You know, here in Boston, we're pretty much confined in our homes because of the coronavirus. But we do understand that everyone has to do their part in order to break the chain of transmission so we can all be healthy. So, but I'm really happy to meet all my sisters from all over the world. And I want to say thank you to the CSW for doing this. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are we all back now? I think so, right? We're at 100 and...
Yes, I think everybody is coming in now.
Devin, is everyone back? Can you hear me?
Yep, everyone's back.
Awesome. Thank you so much. For the folks who did end up in a breakout group that was working well for them, I'd love for you to share some of what was happening for you in the chat box, so we can all get a sense of all of our different feelings. And while that's happening, I'm just going to take a minute to talk about fear. This moment in history is unprecedented. I don't think, at least in my lifetime, I have ever experienced a moment that is a global moment like this. where the deeply connected nature of this planet is evident for us all to see, and where all of the things that are problems with our economic systems and structures and our social systems and structures are also being revealed to us, right? Like it's like all of the veils that we had about everything are getting ripped off. And the uncertainty that we are now in together is real, because even as we've always dreamt of breaking apart these systems so that we can create new ones, when we find ourselves in that moment of opportunity and the uncertainty claims us, our bodies are made for us to survive. So we get into fight or flight or freeze as different ways of responding to the situation. And that's why self-awareness is so important, because the first place to start, to be able to step into leadership, is to be able to check in with yourself and go, okay, I'm in fight mode, I'm in flight mode, I'm frozen, I'm feeling this. This is what is happening in my consciousness, in my body, in my awareness right now. And then the invitation comes to either allow yourself to stay in the fear, which is also fine. There is no judgment around that, for as long as you need to metabolize it. Or then the invitation comes to step into courage. And what is courage? Courage is the ability to feel the fear and yet take another step. What happens in the body when one is feeling fear or when one is feeling courageous is the same. The adrenaline goes up, eyes constrict, breath gets shorter, bodies get tense. Many, many similarities to how our bodies actually are reacting, whether we are being scared or whether we are feeling courageous. And if we can understand that, it becomes possible for us to make a choice. And this community in particular, feminists, this is not the first time that we're feeling fear, is it? This is not the first time that we're dealing with fear. We've been dealing with fear because of what patriarchy does to not just women, but to everybody for hundreds of years. And we have been incredibly courageous. We have been on the front lines of defending the jungles, the earth, one another. We have been on the front lines of resisting authoritarian governments. We have been on the front lines of putting violence against women onto the global agenda. We have been on the front lines of demanding different economic systems that value everybody. We have been acting courageously in the face of fear for a very long time. And so I invite you at this moment of unprecedented shift to feel your fear and to see your courage, because you have been acting courageously for decades. Every single person who is on this call has been in courageous leadership. And so where can you honor your fear, see your fear, understand that it is completely normal to be feeling fear, and find your place of courage simultaneously? And that is why that exercise that we just did together on self-awareness is so critical. Just to reiterate, come back to breath. And when you come back to breath, you remember that every single being that lives on this planet is inhaling that same air. Talk about interconnectedness. Every single one of us in our aliveness is inhaling and exhaling the same air around the world. You come back to breath, it allows you to come back to your center. Then feel your body we have to reconnect with our bodies. Our bodies are our most important assets because it is in this body, whether you believe in incarnation, whether you believe in past lives, this body is the body that you are on this planet on right now. So honor this beautiful body, bellies, breasts, hips, thighs, face, necks, just the incredible miracle of our bodies. And then tune into your emotions. How are you feeling? So many of us think a lot. We are in our minds all the time. We forget that it is our emotional state that actually allows us to act. And that often it is our emotional state that makes us react in ways that we don't necessarily even want to be reacting. So this level of awareness that we can create for ourselves is so critical to this moment, to every moment of leadership, of bringing in an interconnected world where we connect to ourselves, where we connect to one another, and where we connect to Mother Earth. Want everybody to just take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Feel yourselves, feel your bodies right here. One of the other exercises that I wanted to share with us today was that of presencing. And this exercise comes to us from the world of somatics, which is the world that really pays attention to bodies and how we shift trauma in our bodies to become more present and aware leaders. And this presencing exercise comes particularly from something called the Strozzi Institute, from the world of generative somatics. So I want to honor them, drawing from a multitude of traditions and disciplines and practices to share what I am with you today. And I want to give thanks to all of my teachers and to all the wisdom traditions and to all of the political solidarity work that we have done with one another. So since we are at 9 minutes to ending our session together, what I'm going to do with your permission is lead us through the centering exercise and then have us close this with a one quick answer in the chat box to the question that I lead you with. And this presencing exercise is a way in which we learn to, from a place of self-awareness, stand in our length, stand in our width, and stand in our depth. So to stand in our length, our width, and our depth. And from that place, understand what is our purpose? What is our intention? What are we here to do? If you can and you're comfortable to do this, I would invite you to stand up for this exercise. We'll be standing for the next 7 or 8 minutes. If you cannot stand and you need to sit, that is fine. Just make sure your feet are on the ground and that you're sitting straight. But I think it's important for all of us to, if we can, get up. And I'm going to move back a little bit as much as my
Really? Yes, okay. So I'm taking off these headphones so I can step back a little bit. So everybody, just shake yourselves out. Just feel it, like just let it all go. Like shake, 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 shake. Like allow your body to actually like tremble. Like just let it all go. Just so much that our bodies are holding when we're in fear. Like just let it all go. Give it to Mother Earth. She will mulch it. She will transform it to whatever it needs to be. And when you are in a place of having released I want you to stand up straight, and I invite you to close your eyes and feel your feet firmly planted on the ground. If you need to shift your feet a little bit apart or a little bit together so that you literally feel all of your toes, your heel, everything on the ground. And then just slowly allow every part of yourself to start stacking up. Feel your vertebrae straightening. Feel the little bits of air, distance in between each vertebrae. So just feel your body literally straightening, standing up. And now bring your attention to the top of your head and just feel like there is some beautiful being that is taking the top of your head and just lifting it up just a little bit, so that the distance between your chin and your chest, the back of your neck, everything is just straightening up. And you don't want your head to be pointing up, and you don't want your head to be pointing down. Just imagine that something is just holding your head straight up. And now from this place of standing, feel into your vertical length and feel into the gravity of this earth. We are all standing on this ground because the earth's electromagnetic field allows us to be here. So feel into your length. This is your dignity as a human being. Just allow yourself to feel what it feels to be in the full length of you, in the dignity of you. Deeply, deeply grounded with your feet firmly planted on this incredible earth of which we are a part. And now slowly raise your arms to your side and feel your width. This is your place of connection. And allow your back to straighten. Feel the space all around you as you stretch your arms. And then allow yourself to hold the energetic space as you slowly bring your arms back down by your side. But hold that width. This is your place of connection to everything around you. This is our place of connection to one another. This is our place of interconnectedness to the whole world. This is our place of how we relate to community. And if you can, allow yourself to feel that place of connection grow wider and wider. Allow it to expand to include your entire home. Allow it to move out into your neighborhood, your city, your country. Allow it to embrace the whole world. Not just humans, but all beings on this planet. That is your place of connection. The trees, the waters, the birds, the plants, the animals, even all the little microorganisms that make up our bodies in the world. Now you're firmly anchored in your length and you're firmly anchored in your width. And your width can contract and expand as you desire. You can bring it down to just be your own self-container, or you make it as big as to contain the whole world. And now I bring your attention to your depth, which is the area in front of you and the area behind you. So everything behind you brought you to this moment and to this place. your biology, your DNA, your ancestors, your family, your experiences, your history. Everything that made you who you are is at your back. And in front of you is the future. Is the emergent future, the future that none of us know. And in these times is even more uncertain than before. Uncertain with possibility. So as you stand with your back and your front, see if you can stand in a place where you are completely present right now. And allow yourself to rock back and forth a little bit to see and notice, do you stay in your past? Do you tend to stand leaning backwards a little bit? Do you tend to stand leaning forwards a little bit? When you rock back and forth, see if you can find the place where you are at your center, present right here, right now. And just imagine that your back is really strong. It's really strong with all that has brought you here. And that your heart, which faces the front, is wide open with love and with possibility. Strong back, open heart. You are in your length, in dignity. You are in your width, in connection. You are in your depth with your past and your future in balance, open to the possibility of everything that is unfold, standing in your interconnected leadership. And from this place of presence, ask your body, ask your heart, ask your soul, what is it that life is asking from me right now? What does life want from me in this incredible moment of transformation? What is life asking from me? And it can be a really tiny, small, personal thing that life is telling me to take care of myself. Life is telling me to start eating better. Life is telling me to start a meditation practice. Or it can be something huge. And I'm saying little and huge with no judgment. Whatever it is that in your presence, full presence, with complete self-awareness, what is life asking of you right now? Just allow yourself to feel into that question. And as the answer emerges for you, please go to the chat box and share it with us. Light, strength, and courage. Be kind to myself. To slow down, nurture others. Focus, embrace sisters, harmony, love. Slow down, presence, breathe, own my life, give love and acceptance. Self-care, exercise, strength and calm, visualize, engage men and care for gender equality. Remember what is most important. Keep talking about non-state torture, growth as a person, liberation, accept myself first, service. I woke up feeling down but feel much better, embrace others with my work. More focus, accept the world, open to possibilities, connecting women, energized and positive, nurturing community. Find out who I am and not what people want from me. Thank you, I feel so much better. Allow myself to be where I am, humility and love, and not interfere with well-being. Accept myself doing what I can. Enjoy some chocolate. Embrace the moment. I actually do an amazing chocolate meditation around pleasure, which perhaps I'll have the opportunity to share with you guys someday. Love myself, gratitude even in these times. Yes to chocolate, be present, origami every day. Understand feelings inside of myself in order to fully connect with others. Share what I know, even if it's not perfect. Self-care, nurture girls and young women. My heart and soul are singing to this. Leadership and self-love. Silver linings every day. Raise awareness to possibilities through gratitude for what the universe gives us. Positive thinking. Accept myself. Feel circumstances and fear. Connect meaningfully. Be patient. Take care of the children. Chocolate meditation. Love all life, minerals, trees, animals, human beings. Do not give up on feminism. Don't be worried about being immobilized by fear. Release tension. Continue to fight for what is right while still focusing on my well-being. Accept the fear. God is good. Yes, she is. Connect with the earth. Whoa, that is so beautiful. Stronger to face the world. Love to all. Thank you, Gia. I want to be part of a community that keeps trying to bring women's rights and girls' voices to the forefront, committed to gender equality, generation equality. Yes, Huri, yes, we are. Everybody just take all of that in. Just appreciate this time that we had together. A wisdom circle. If you'd like to have more sessions like this, please let the NGO CSW know. If you'd like more materials and stuff like that from me, which I haven't yet started to do, but I feel really called to, please go to my website and sign up for my newsletter. I'll be sharing more practices as well as other things that might be helpful during this time. And I just want to close with a quick moment of us gathering our collective energy and sending some love to ourselves, to each other, and to the world. Are you guys up for that? And then we'll close out. We're 6 minutes over. Let's just take 60 seconds and just do a really focused meditation. So for this meditation, I want you to visualize that you are holding the entire beautiful earth in your hands. So even if you want, even like lift up your hands, and I'll stand up to show you what I'm doing. Like literally just hold it near your belly, your womb, your power center, the center of your body. If you want to stand, if you want to sit, whatever is fine, but really imagine that we are holding the entire planet in our palms. And when I say the entire planet, I mean the entire planet. Humans and all beings, and the rocks and the mountains and the seas and the rivers and all of the beings that inhabit this beautiful planet with us. And the whole planet itself, Mother Earth. And I'm not going to speak for the next few seconds. Really just imagine that your heart is opening, your back is strong, your heart is opening, and this earth that you are holding in your hands, you're just flooding it. You're just embracing it with all the love in your being. And now make sure that you observe whether or not you're giving the love without giving it to yourself, or whether you're including yourself on this planet. We have to hold ourselves in love so that we can love others. So all of that incredible love that you just poured into the entire planet, I want you to take your hands and take all of that planetary love and bring it to your heart center and bring it in. Give it to yourself. We are going to need this immense love that we have for one another and the planet, for ourselves, so that we can show up in interconnected leadership in these times. I thank you all so much for joining us today. Self-awareness, centering, and remember your answer to what life asked of you. And see if today you can take one step, one action in actually doing whatever it is that came up. Take one step to actually do what life asked for you. And I welcome you all to unmute yourselves and say goodbye and whatever is in your heart right now.
Great idea, Malika. Everyone unmute yourself so we all can hear your voices.
Thank you, everyone.
Malika. Thank you, Ivy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Amazing, Malika. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Malika. Thank you, everyone.
Great
Bless
session.
you all.
To everyone.
Appreciate it so, so
And
much.
thank you especially, Devin, for all the tech help.
Be well.
Take care.
Be well and stay safe.
Take care, guys.
Bye. Everyone
So
be
grateful
well.
to the NGO Commission on the Status of Women.
Love you.
Do this. Devin, Huri, Ivy, thank you, thank you, thank you. All of you, like such a big,
So wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
a big, big, big,
Thank
big
you.
hug. Sunita.
Thank you for practicing.
Yes.
Malika.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again.
Bye. Bye.
So much love.
Take care.